Well, they're very different to the Thunderbirds puppets, because the Thunderbirds puppets were marionettes, and
that's a whole different skill set entirely.
Yeah, string puppets are a very specific technique, and not one that I am any good at. Having tried it a few times, I'm not particularly good at it. Rods I can handle. They're my preferred form of puppet.
But the interesting thing about the process that we had on this, we had 2 days rehearsal, which essentially just turned into figuring out which rods fitted in the back of the puppets and which ones didn't. I find that on a project like this, when people come in and say, well, we want them to do this, we want them to be hiding behind the bulkhead, we want them to be looking around and firing down the corridor, what do you need? It's actually a lot easier to just go, let's get the puppets down there, let's put them in the set, and then problem solve as we go along. That solves a lot of problems, because sometimes just sitting up here in a kind of vacuum, it doesn't really help. You need to be on the set. You need to kind of figure out the problems as you go along. And yeah, I mean, so far it's been hugely successful, I'd say. They're a great team.
I don't think it's particularly more physical than other sort of rod puppetry or bunraku.
From our experience in doing this kind of TV puppetry before, it's more about being able to be in uncomfortable positions holding a puppet and getting the puppet to look graceful while you are not.
Yeah. It's not. I always say it's not about what it is; it's about what it looks like.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it's uncomfortable. It doesn't matter if you've got your elbow in someone's face. What matters is how it. Yeah. Well. Me and Kim have known each other for a very long time, so it's sort of You
kind of get used to just having to cramp up and go. Okay, so how do we make the puppet look like it's standing?
Yeah.
I know, but you do have to look after your puppeteers as well, because I'm always aware of the fact that you guys. In awkward situations. That's what I'm always saying. Do you want more water or a can of screaming?
And these puppets are quite heavy. For the size of them, they're surprisingly heavy. And that's
been a learning
just
curve
because they've got a lot of metal in them, really. But yeah, so it's. I feel like the crew that we've got, between Steve and Pete and Jamie, and having Andy on our side as well, everybody's aware of the fact that we are putting ourselves in quite strenuous positions, contorted positions, and we will go, okay, and rest now for a bit while we watch that back. But I don't think it's particularly harder than anything else we've done.
No, not really.
I think it's probably been slightly easier than some.
For a TV shoot, it's been remarkably easy.
So you can't be in the scene then, can you? You can't be, obviously your head can't be on camera.
No, so that's what these are for.
That's actually the hardest part, I think.
We have green chroma key suits to cover ourselves up if needs be. But for the most part, for the mid shots, we're trying to keep ourselves out of shot so that then post-production have less work to do.
But so you can't see the whole puppet all at once then if you've got your head?
You can see the whole puppet all at once, but then we're covered in green and... Yeah, and then in post, so we'll be shooting plates so they can just composite just the puppet onto the plate of the background.
The green morph suits are very flattering.
Yes, everybody looks good in the green morph suit.
Shut up.
Sexy.
But it just gets to the point where it's just part of the job.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of like, oh, this is what we do, and then you go home or you talk to your friends and go, so what are you doing today?
Go home on a Friday and you can't walk on a Saturday.
Yeah.